So I took a cab and I realized I was gonna throw up in the cab.
Obviously, I start to freak out. I'm like, oh my god, you're cannibals!
Hi, lovely humans. So, I'm Clara, for those of you who don't know me, and I make a travel-related video, especially regarding China, approximately once a week, and it's a first on this channel. I have a lovely guest.
Hello!
So please introduce yourself, you charming person.
So, I'm Astrid, I also do travel videos. I'm more of like the US, Europe place of travel, and I also do fashion videos.
Yeah, so. And she has like super interesting videos about really like you traveled a lot.
Yeah,
you traveled to lots of places, so that's really interesting. Yeah, and so we thought we would like do a little collab. So there is one video on this channel, and there's going to be one
on my channel.
Yeah, so the links will be in the description, of course. And I thought it would be interesting, because we both travel quite a bit, to tell you about some embarrassing stories. Yeah, I like to embarrass myself on the internet, that's something.
Apparently I do too.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I brought you into this.
It's okay.
So, we're going to try and tell some little anecdotes about times we
made a fool of ourselves.
Yeah. So, please, go ahead! I'm like throwing you the fish.
I was like, go on! Okay, so I'm gonna start with the church one.
Okay.
So I was studying in the USA, and I had a lovely friend called Amanda, right? Who took me to her church, because we met actually in a church sort of group.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, I'll take you to my church on Sunday, it's great.
Like a youth group?
Yeah, it's a youth group. Like in the US, they have a lot of the youth group at university, and it was for like faith things. So I went and I met her there, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll take you to." She had like this really cool church, a cool vintage church and everything. So we go there, and the thing is, like, you know, like at some point in the celebration, you eat the bread and the wine. Well, the bread and wine in the US is a lot different than it is in Europe, because in Europe it's like a thin...
Is it? Yeah, like... It's
really thin thing, right?
Yeah, it's like really like... Yes, small and...
And it's dry, because we don't drink the wine, only the priest does. But in the US, it's like, it's an actual piece of bread.
Okay.
And dip it in the wine, so it's like...
Dipped in the...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And I was like not ready for it or something. And I ate it, and I choked on it. Like, I was in the middle of church, like, it was disgusting. It was so embarrassing.
Well, you almost died in a church.
Yeah, and also like, you know, it's a holy thing. You're not supposed to spit it out. And it was like, hi guys, I'm the new girl. I have never been to church, apparently, which is not true. Like, yeah. And it was so embarrassing. So.
And like everyone was watching, of course.
Obviously, you know, it's like,
oh god.
It was so embarrassing. He's like, hey, I'm the new girl. I'm weird.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah. It was a bit like that. So I was like, cheers. But yeah.
So be careful about the if you go to
mind the bread
in the US.
Mind the bread, yeah.
Yeah.
Your turn now.
Yeah. Like, my story, I guess, is a bit different. I don't think I told you that story. Okay. It's like, yeah, because I have a lot of embarrassing stories, so we talked a bit about them.
But video 2 next month.
But like, that was at the end of my year in Shanghai. I traveled a bit around, and I
like how you say Shanghai with a like Chinese accent. You know, like
I
Shanghai.
don't. Do I?
You do.
I don't like. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. Now I'm gonna be self-conscious about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
But yeah, like basically, I was taking. Then I traveled to China, and then I was taking a plane from Kunming in the south of China to Taiwan.
Okay,
because like I was going to Taiwan for 3 weeks, and that was a whole big thing, and I really loved that. So. But the morning I was supposed to go from Kunming to Taiwan, I woke up to pack my stuff, and my vision was like a bit blurry, and like I didn't really realize. I thought like, yeah, maybe I'm really tired. I didn't think I was that tired, but maybe I'm just really tired. And then I started having a headache, and the thing is, I have chronic like ophthalmic migraine, and I started having a migraine that morning.
Yeah.
So I was in real pain. I wasn't feeling good. I looked like a ghost. I was the trash of a human being.
Yeah.
And I also had one hand like who like was like not broken but strained.
Yeah, strained. Yeah.
So I had like one hand to pack and like I'm gonna make it to the airport. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna take my plane. So I grab my stuff. I go to the bus. I almost threw up in the bus. So I was like, the bus is moving at 10 an hour in the sun, 30 degrees, with like the little moves. And I'm just like, I can't take it. So I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get down and I'm gonna take a taxi. So I took a cab. And I realized I was gonna throw up in the cab.
Hello.
and the cab driver was like, "Are you okay, miss?" And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm really fine. Can I open the window, please?" And then I just threw up.
Oh my god.
By the window because like I really didn't want to throw up inside the car.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I was so embarrassed because the guy was like, "No, Lawai," like Lawai is like foreigner, so he was like he didn't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
Like it was normal. I arrive at the airport. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, because the story is not finished.
Okay.
I realize I'm late for my plane, so I just run through the airport. I get to my boarding gate. I'm like, okay, I have 10 minutes. That's good. I want to buy like something to eat, and I realize I forgot my wallet with the equivalent of 2,000 euros. 200, not 2,000, 200 euros
That's a big amount.
at my youth hostel.
You gotta love your life at this point.
Yeah, and my plane is leaving in 10 minutes.
Oh.
So there's no way
So,
I'm getting it.
oh no.
And I was like, okay, this is one of the worst ever. I've just made a fool of myself throwing up, and now I don't have money on me anymore. I had my credit card, so that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't have like 200,
Okay.
equivalent to 200 euros.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I had to take the plane like that.
Loving life.
Yay! I just like, I think my neighbor in the plane was like, okay, she looked like she's gonna be sick.
Doesn't look so good.
But I made it! And I eventually got back my money. I got my money.
Oh wow. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Really great customer service at the Youth Hostel. They were
Yeah,
like, really
especially-
good.
Actually, I have another story. That's a horror story. Like that made me think of that.
Oh, it's becoming horror stories instead of embarrassing story. Well,
Well-
the title is wrong. I lied to you. I'm sorry.
I also have embarrassing, but this one is like
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
it's a little bit like gross. Like
Okay, so this is actually not horror stories, it's gross stories.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine, go. Non, vas-y, c'est bon.
So, well, we were with my best friend, like my best friend Erasmus, one of the guy, we were a group of 4, 2 guys, 2 girls, and one of the guys were turning 25 on the 4th of July, and I was turning 20 on the 7th.
Oh.
So we're like, we're gonna do a huge trip, and it's gonna be great.
That sounds awesome.
It was, and we planned to go to Riga. It was completely random. We just, Skyscanner, cheapest place, Riga. And
that's not a bad way to do it.
like everything went wrong, like from A to Z, nothing worked. And the thing is, one of the girls who were traveling with us, it was her first plane ride ever.
Oh wow.
She was super stressed, and for those of you who maybe know it, the low-cost port, the low-cost airport of Hamburg is actually a tent. Like it's a building, and then the international area is a tent. Yeah, I know.
Little tent?
A tent. Like,
okay.
It's like a festival tent, like the white one. It's like that. So
okay.
It's the first time she goes to the airport, right? She gets into that, it's like, is it always like that? And we're like, let's just pretend it is so she doesn't freak out. And then we were traveling with Wizz Air, which is like bright pink plane. We get on there and she's already freaking out because, first time taking the plane. And before we take off, like some liquid falls off the ceiling of the plane.
That's like not reassuring, but okay.
She's like, oh my god, we're gonna die, oh my god, and she's freaking out. And then the plane takes off, and she's like, Astrid, are we dead yet? And I'm like, chill. So that was super embarrassing. I was like, I'm with a crazy girl, like,
I'm not with, like, you could have made me like, I don't know her. Like,
yeah.
Like, she knows my name, but like,
I don't know her. And like the thing is, it was like 3 seats and we were 4. So our friend William kindly said like, okay, I'm gonna be alone because I didn't want Elska to be alone, the girl who was traveling for the first time. And he got sat next to a guy who was like super drunk, and he ordered so much vodka in the plane that the air hostess had to tell him to stop ordering vodka.
Like, just seriously, side note, like, do people act like, I'm always surprised that people actually drink in plane.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Why would you like get hydrated?
Like it's already like you're already getting dehydrated from the plane. Why would you drink alcohol in the plane?
I know it's ridiculous, but the guy was like literally getting like sacked on the plane. Like he was so drunk, right? And it started smelling super bad, and we didn't know why. So we land, we get out of the plane. The guy had shit himself on the plane.
Oh god, I didn't like. From all this build-up, I didn't know where the story was going. I certainly did not expect that.
Because like the guy walks up to us like, yeah, okay, have fun in Riga, but he told us be careful of the mafia, and we're like, alright. And then he goes ahead of us, and we were like, oh my god. And I turned to Ray, and I was like, I don't want to see that ever in my life. It was so horrible. So yeah, don't drink on plane, kids.
Moral of the story, don't drink on airplane. Even if you're not talking and you're technically allowed to drink, don't.
Do it. It was like the whole trip was a disaster. It was like, oh my god, goodness.
And that was like, that was supposed to be a sign.
I know. It's like, oh my god.
Okay, that's awful.
It was terrible. I can still picture it. It's horrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's.
Sorry guys also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a quick cut.
Technical issues.
So another funny stories. Funniest one. Oh, I can't speak English anymore.
It's the heat.
It's the heat. Oh yeah, like that's the heat. Like
every mistake done in this video is due to heat.
That's a great excuse. Thank you.
I know.
Thank you. So, another funny, embarrassing story, but not gross. This one is not gross, which is nice. So, like, if you were disgusted, you can now continue to watch. You can resume watching.
We will stop now.
We're really sorry about that. Well, we were in a small train station in Shanxi province, and we were just basically there for the day. Like we took a day trip, and we just went to the train station, visited the village, and then at the end of the day went back to the train station, and we wanted to take the train back. Yeah. Really simple. But we were early for the train when we got back. Yeah. After visiting the village, so we were like, okay, well, we're hungry, so we're just gonna eat some fried rice, like the basic stuff that you can find at the little shops outside of the train station. So we just sit down and we eat, and it's like it's grey outside, and we're like in a bit of a reflecting mood. Yeah. So we're eating our fried rice, and then even when we've finished, we have time. Like we're chill, so we're just talking about where we see our lives going and what we want to do the next year, and like we're just having a general conversation about like important personal topics. And at some point I was like, maybe we should like pay for meals, but we're like, oh, we're still sitting here for some time, so we can just pay later. Yeah. And we continue talking, and we have a really interesting conversation. And then we're like, oh well, we have to go catch our train. So we go in the train station, and we pass through the securities, because in most train stations in China, you actually have to have your ticket to just enter the train station, like the main part of the train station. Okay. Yeah. Because of the security control, you cannot enter if you don't have a ticket.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's like a supplementary control. Yeah. And so we enter the train station with our train ticket, we go around, we see a platform, so we're going in that direction. And we hear yelling in the train station hall. Like yelling. Like it's a small train station, but still like small by Chinese standards, so still pretty big. But there's not really, there's not that many people. And we're the only foreigner in the whole train station, very clearly. And we just hear yelling. So we're like, okay, someone's yelling somewhere, like from the entrance. Yeah. But that's fine. And then we hear Lao Wai. Lao Wai is like foreigner. And we hear someone yelling, foreigner, foreigner, Lao Wai, Lao Wai. And we're like, that's like, we're basically the only foreigner in the airport, right?
Probably yes.
So we turn out. At this point, everyone that is in this hall is watching what's happening, because someone was really yelling, and we see a woman who's trying to get through the security, but who can't because she doesn't have a train ticket. And she yells at us, and we're like, oh, well, isn't she like the lady from the shop, like we just ate at? Oh, we didn't pay! we just left without paying. And so we were like, okay, she can go through security. Yeah. And so in front of the entire train station, because at this point the whole security was watching, we were the two Lawai, the two foreigners, who tried to rip off an old lady for the equivalent of like $2, €2. Because that's all it was, like it was really cheap. So we were the two rich people who tried to rip off an old lady of 10 yuan.
That's like literally the person you don't want to be.
Yeah, and everyone was like, foreigner. And we were so embarrassed, and we paid her, of course, we paid her, and we were so sorry. But then we just felt watched, even if like, I don't, like people were probably not watching us all the time, but we felt so embarrassed and like criminals because we just didn't pay her. And that was a lot of money to her. And to us it was like nothing, but still, we were the rude foreigner. We didn't pay.
It's horrible to be that.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that. And I just feel so awkward just thinking about it. Like the poor lady had to run off her store, run out, and just try to go through airport security, the train security for us. Not really proud of that one.
Yeah, not your best moment.
Not my best moment. Really not.
Well, you know, there's two types of foreigners, like of bad foreigners. There's the rude foreigner and there's the stupid foreigner. I've been the stupid foreigner. That
was a flawless transition.
I know,
like,
right?
so smooth. That was so smooth. I'm really impressed. Like, wow. Okay.
Look at me.
I'm hiring you to do all my transition. From now on, you're hired.
Just got a job. Yeah.
The dream job of everyone.
I know. I'm a transition person. Professional transitioner. Yay! So yeah, stupid foreigner. I did this thing that I did a exchange program when I was 9. And basically I went to move into a family in England for 6 months, and I was without my parents and everything, like exchange program, but for 6 months, and I was 9. So because it's
really young.
Really young. So because I was really young, a lot of people who were friends with my parents or who were family try to make me not go because they were like, this is crazy, you're too young to travel and stuff, especially alone. So they told me all crazy stuff about UK, and noticeably one of my uncles told me like, yeah, UK is where they have all those crazy people, so...
Like they tried to scare you off.
Yeah, exactly, trying to scare me off. And obviously I didn't take it, but you know, you're 9, so it's grown-up say something, it stays in your head, you know?
Yeah,
so
even
like,
if you don't actually believe it, you just...
A grown-up said something, so you have to... You know. But anyways, a few months passed by and no problem, and then one day, I think it was like the 4th or 5th month maybe, so at this point I already spoke English. We went out with my family, and we were coming back. And
Your host family?
My host family, yeah. And we were coming back, and I was super hungry, so I asked my English mom, I was like, hey mom, because I called her mom because I was young, mom, like, what's for dinner? And she told me shepherd's pie. So I don't know what that is. I'm like, what is that? And instead of telling me what shepherd's pie is, she tells me what a shepherd is. And me, my 9-year-old brain, and myself, think, well, you know, apple pie is made out of apple, strawberry pie is made out of strawberry, so my warnings go off. Shepherd's pie is made out of shepherds. Obviously, I start to freak out. I'm like, oh my god, you're cannibals! And how can you do this? And I'm never gonna eat any humans!
That's human pie!
And I freaked out. I was crying, I was insulting everyone, like, how can you do this? And oh my goodness, and I was freaking out. And then suddenly, like, my exchange mother starts to laugh, and she's like, no, Astrid, the shepherd's pie is what shepherds eat. It's not made of shepherds. And I felt so dumb.
But that's understandable.
I literally told them they were cannibalists. Like, chill.
You just insulted them.
It was like the 9-year-old trying to teach them something. Hey, you know what? By the way, don't eat humans. Like, it was just like.
So, second educational message from this video: don't eat humans.
I was like, I was freaking out, and like, you know, good test to my morals. Like, I know that.
Good morals. Yeah. Good morals. You didn't want to eat human meat. Good morals.
Even under pressure, but like, I was just like, when she told me that, you know, like when because people had told me that British were crazy. You know, and
saw it through every British people watching?
Yeah. Obviously I don't think that because I went back there. But I was 9, and you know, when you're 9, it kind of makes sense that shepherd's pie would be made out of shepherds.
Yeah, like it's like the kind of logical connection, but it's like logic.
Yeah.
Apple pie is made of apple.
You know,
so
like,
shepherd's pie could be made of shepherds.
And I freaked out. Like I freaked out.
But at the end, like so they laughed at it.
Yeah,
like,
they laughed at it. Like now, every time I go back there, at some point, like Astrid, shepherd's pie, and I'm like, ha ha ha.
That's so funny. You're funny.
Yeah. So embarrassing.
Well, so did you enjoy watching us reliving our embarrassing moments? Because like I think you saw that we actually relived this moment when we were telling them.
Very fear of
we have the emotions coming back. Like I don't know you, but I'm cringing. Like
so hard.
So I hope it was enjoyable to watch us cringe. I really hope it was, because that was tough for us. And so the final message, yes, were not to drink on planes and don't eat humans, please. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any other embarrassing stories of your own, just tell it in the comments. And like if you want us to do another video like that, we have tons of stories. So like you can just ask and we will probably we can make another video about it. So just if you enjoyed it, just tell us and we'll see that. And yeah, there will also be my Instagram in the description and Astrid's Instagram. And I hope you're doing great and see you soon and see you on Astrid's channel.
Bye.
Bye. Non mais c'est bien, c'est trop, en fait, imagine à la place de la mère, c'est trop mignon. Genre de son point de vue, c'est genre oh, elle est trop chute.
Elle est trop conne.
Oh, elle est bête, c'est mignon.
Ah non mais...
Non mais...